Hi, it's time for another themed reading vlog. Hopefully this one will go better than the last one. But for this one, I'm gonna read 3 2021 releases because I have lots of them here that I still have to read and that I bought. So I would really like to get to all of these. The only thing I'm doing is I'm taking out Shade of Iron because I want to do an individual vlog on that. So that's not gonna be in here. But that still leaves me with 8 2021 releases that I have bought and not read yet. So that's what we're doing today. Well, in today's video, I'm not gonna read 3 books today. So yeah, only problem is I am indescribably excited for all of these. So I don't really know how to pick 3 of them. So I've thought of a system, and that's this. Hi, I put the title of every single book on a post-it note, scrambled them up, put them in like this, which is a lid for plastic stickers, because I don't have like another like box that I could do like the same one as TBR, so I'm doing this. It's ridiculous, but I'm basically going to pick a book now, read it, pick another book, read it, and pick another book, read it, and that's the vlog. So let's get this a little bit shaken up. All of them can stay on here, preferably. Yeah, maybe I should tell you all of the options I have. I have Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas, The Iron Raven by Sheila Gazzawa, Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon, Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez, Of Princess and Promises by Sanjay Menon, Version Zero by David Yoon, Kate in Waiting by Becca Vitali, and Rule of Wolves by Lee Bardugo. So yeah, those are them all. They're all in here. And I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna do it on camera so you can tell I'm not cheating. I'm looking outside of the window so I can even see all the paper. I'm gonna pick this one. I am nervous because I have no clue what it is. It is Perfect on Paper! Great! Ooh, it's gonna flow away. It's Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. Then I put as much effort into these as I do from like my official TBR jar, because you know, after this video these are going to be tossed. But Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. This is a YA contemporary, but I bought in June, and this, I'm just going to read you the back because it's in English and short, so let's do that. Darcy Phillips has a secret. Even Brooke, her best friend, who she hopes could be something more, is clueless. Darcy is behind infamous Locker 89, providing an anonymous, questionably legal relationship advice service at school. But then disaster strikes. Her identity is uncovered by Australian new kid Alexander Broham. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. If word gets out that Darcy's behind the locker, Brooke will probably never speak to her again. Darcy will do whatever it takes to contain it. She strikes a deal in exchange for him keeping her secret. Darcy will help entitled Brady and annoyingly hot Broham win his ex-girlfriend back. What could possibly go wrong? This sounds amazing. I love that synopsis so much. And yeah, follows a bisexual main character, which I'm excited about. I've heard amazing things about this on BookTok. I know, shame, but it's a great way to find book recommendations in a short amount of time. So I got a bad attention span. I apologize, but yeah, I've heard amazing things about this. Sophie Gonzalez is the author of Only Mostly Devastated, as it says on the cover, which I read, and I think I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I didn't dislike it, but also didn't love it. But I'm super excited for this. Yay! Okay, this is going well so far. Great. I'll talk to you when I'm a quarter of the way through this book. Hi, ignore the fan. Was on when I did in the beginning of the video as well, but still ignore that it's on. I know it's noisy, but gonna have to deal with it. But I am a quarter of the way into Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. I read this yesterday and I had so much fun. Oh god, I wasn't expected this to be so much fun like from the get-go, because like I said, I've read Only Mostly Devastated and I didn't like it that much. I mean, I didn't dislike it. I give it 3 stars, but I don't know, it just felt a little bit meh for me. But this so far is so much fun. I'm only like in the very beginning of the setup, and I'm already loving it like so much. And I don't want to say it too soon, and I'm like loving it because I'm still very much in like the setup stage of this, but I'm really loving the writing. It's like so funny. Like I've laughed out loud like a couple of times already, and I really like our main character and her sister we've gotten to know a lot of, and she's fantastic as well. And her best friend that she's in love with was the other girl on the cover. She's also really fun. And then this guy I also really like. Like, I know that this is gonna go like in a tropey way that I love, and I'm so excited. So yeah, I'm gonna continue reading now. I'll read you and I'm halfway through it. Okay, so I'm halfway through Perfect on Paper, and I'm still obsessed with it. Nothing's changed. I do kind of, in the scene we're currently in, is kind of a little bit more like serious and hard hitting, so I kind of feel a bit ridiculous now when we do like switch to like happy. I love this book so much, bit, because that's just not what we're in the book right now, but it is amazing. I love all the characters we have, like, that we're mainly like talking about. So Brooke, who is our main character's best friend, Darcy was our main character, Broham, that's how you pronounce his name, was the guy, and we have Darcy's sister as well. They're like the four like major characters in this book, and I love all four of them so much. Darcy is a great main character. Broham is also an amazing character. Brooke, I don't have strong feelings on, and then Ainsley, who is Darcy's sister, I also adore. So I'm having such a grand old time with this. I love the relationship that's developing between Broham and Darcy. It's very little so far. They're just like, I don't know, getting to be friends with each other a little bit. And I am just loving it. The chapter that took place in Disneyland, I'm not gonna say anything more about that just to avoid spoilers, but if you've read this book, the chapter that took place in Disneyland was everything, and it was so cute, especially like how it ended and everything. Just so good. And yeah, I'm just having such a great time with this book. Darcy does like this relationship advice thing that I talked about. We get like the letters and like the advice she gives throughout, like in the beginning of some of these chapters, and I like it so much. I think it's a great addition to the book, even though like not necessarily all of like the advice things actually have a like reflection into the plot, I guess, but it is still, I don't know, it's just a fun aspect to it. And yeah, I'm really loving it so much. Hi, I finished Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. I didn't end up updating you when I was 3/4 of the way through, because I was just loving it so much and I wanted to continue reading, so I did, and I finished it. It's fantastic. I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 stars. It is so good. I don't really know what else I can say that isn't spoilery that I haven't said already. I love the characters, I love like the friendships, I love the overall storyline, I love the inclusion of the relationship advice stuff. Really love the romance. Oh, that was so good. Oh, there was moments I was like literally like screaming, because yes, I haven't felt this much joy reading a book in a while. I mean, I've really like loved books, but I don't know, I feel like they always were a bit more on the serious side or something, and then more of the lighthearted books I just never really got into that much. But this, I loved so much, and I was so happy the entire time while reading it, and it just, yes, I love it, because this is a new favorite, like, of all time. It might not be my favorite book of all time, it's like up there, you know, and definitely my favorite of the year so far. So yay, I'm glad I read that, because I don't know if not for this video that would have been that high of a priority right now, but I'm still really happy with it. So we're picking the next book. I'm hoping for it to also go well, but who knows. I'm gonna close my eyes. It feels even less biased, this one. Ooh, I just knocked a lot of my on accident. Okay, so this is the one I picked, and it is Instructions for Dancing. Yes, okay, I'm getting good ones here. Okay, so Instructions for Dancing by Nicole Yoon, which it's another one I bought in June. So apparently Faith only wants me to read books that I bought more recently. I mean, the majority of these books were bought in June, so I understand, but still noticeable. Nicole Yoon is the author of Everything Everything and The Sun is also a star, which are two books I adore. So I'm really excited for this book. Also one of my favorite covers of the year. So yes. I'm excited. Okay. I'll meet you later. Okay, so I've started Instructions for Dancing. I'm a quarter of the way through, which is 75 pages. And I should probably give you a plot for this book. This book follows Evie, whose parents have recently divorced, and therefore she doesn't believe in love anymore. She used to be a huge fan of romance books, but now she's getting rid of them all because she thinks they're all lies and fairy tales, not real life, you know? And then one day she gets home and she sees her sister kissing with her boyfriend, and that causes like a vision to happen for Evie, which shows the course of that relationship. And ever since then, every time she sees a couple kissing, she gets to see the course of that relationship, and that makes her convinced that yes, indeed, romance is a lie, and she shouldn't ever feel romantic feelings again because it's all fake and will end up in heartbreak. And then one day, when she goes to like get rid of her romance books, she does this at like one of those like leave one take one, like those little library things. I don't know what they're called, but she drops her books off at there, and she takes her this book, which is like a book about dancing called Instructions for Dancing, ironically, and it ends up taking her to like this dance school. And at this dance school she starts to take lessons, and the people there think that she's great to be entered into like this dancing competition, and she gets partnered with this guy named X, who she might feel little attractions to, but as I said before, love is not in the cards for her anymore. She doesn't believe in it anymore. So yeah, I've just gotten to the point where she has gotten like the news, I guess, that she's gonna be like this in a competition together with this guy, and they've just started rehearsing like a little bit. But I am really enjoying it so far. I'm really loving the writing. I've missed Nicola Yoon. It's been a while since he's published a book, and yes, she's just a unique writing style. I mean, the writing is pretty like typical, but like in this book, like we're getting the visions separately, and then we're also getting like little lists that the main character makes, and it makes the reading experience more interesting, I guess. I'm also really liking our main character. I think she's like not a lot of fun, but I think she'll be great to follow. I really like her friend group as well, and yeah, I'm just excited to learn more. So I'm gonna continue reading. Welcome to the halfway through update. How do I talk about this without spoilers? I absolutely adore the dance instructor in this book. Like we haven't, like when I last did you, we spent like a big chunk with her, and like now it's been a while, and I just want to spend more time with her because it's so much fun. And I just like seeing them like do the dance practices, and the dance instructor is just a lot of fun and like very funny, and I really like that. And on top of that, of course, we're here for the romance, and I'm loving it. I know the main character is gonna hit the self-destruct button because that's just how these things go, and I'm like anxiously anticipating that. I'm like not ready for it. Really love the dynamic that the main character has with X. I think they have just amazing banter, and they had like a little romantic scene earlier, which I'm not gonna like mention more, and like I started to swoon. I loved it so much. So I am, like I said, I know because of the main character's like main characteristic being like doesn't believe in love anymore, I know she's gonna hit the self-destruct button at some point, but I'm not ready for it. I'm not, because I want this to go well, and for these characters to be happy, and yeah, because they've both been through a lot, and like they have had talks about like things they've been through, and I want them to be happy now with each other. Can we just do that? Okay, so I'm a little less than a quarter of the way removed from the end of the book, just that at the actual 3/4 mark some stuff were happening, and I just wanted to keep reading because I was curious. But I'm now on page 234. Well, I should have been on 225, so that tells you how much more I've read that I shouldn't have. But oh, it's so good. Also, it's looking like the self-destruction button is not gonna be hit, which I'm very much enjoying. Like, Evie opened up to X about her relationship with romance, I guess, and he was just like, you know, don't worry, we'll take it as slow as you want. I'm like, yes. And the relationship is just so good. Like, their interactions are everything, and they talk to each other so much, which sounds like a weird thing to say in a review, but like, it's so rare in YA that people communicate this much, and I love it. I love the friend group so much. I wish we got a little bit more of Evie's family, because I do think there's some interesting dynamics there, but we aren't really spending a lot of time with that. But I do like the discussion around her relationship with her father, which has been like not as great since the divorce. So I don't know, I do like that discussion. I just wish, I don't know, there was more elements with the rest of the family in here. The dancing is also getting back on track, which I love. I'm really loving this, but I think finishing it will be for tomorrow, which I don't really mind. So yeah, update you then. Hi, I finished instructions for dancing. I'm gonna call you, and it's the next day, just like I told you it would be. Also, I apologize if you can hear rain in the background, because obviously the entire day it's been great weather, but as soon as I decide to start filming, it starts pouring rain. So I apologize. But instructions for dancing, I ended up giving this 4 to 5 stars. I really love this book. The ending is fantastic, and I had to remind myself, this is a 4-star book. You had problems with the book. You weren't fully happy with it, because that ending though. Okay. So I don't know much more to say about this than that I already told you. The last quarter was more like the sadder side, but I think it was done really well. Like I said before, I wanted a little bit more of the relationship with Evie and her family. Like, we get a lot with her father, but just kind of wish we got a little bit more of her sister and her mother, because I feel like there were also like interesting discussions we have had there, which we missed out on. And then I also just wanted a little bit more of the dancing, just because those were like my favorite moments in the book, if I'm being completely honest. I just thought they caused for great, I don't know, banter, I guess, between Evie and X, and I loved the dance instructor. And I don't know, I thought it was very interesting, so I just wish we would have gotten a little bit more of that, because even when it came to the competition, we kind of flew over those moments, I guess, and just like quickly recapped what happened. I just wish we had gotten a little bit more of that. But yeah, for the rest, I really loved this. That Evie was an amazing character. I loved the friend group. I liked the inclusion of the visions. I thought it gave like an interesting spin on what would have been like a normal contemporary, but it wasn't too heavy-handed. Like, it didn't really take over the storyline, which I also really appreciated. And I really loved the relationship between Evie and X. I thought it was really well done, and I loved it. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this book. Okay, hi, I took a small break from this video because of this book, Wool of Wolves, which initially I pulled right after finishing Instructions of Dancing, and I just really am not in the mood for this book. It's not working. It's not clicking with me right now. Just the fantasy is too much, and I tried reading a little bit, but when I pulled it wasn't working out, and then I took a break from it for a little bit, and I just tried reading it again after watching a couple of episodes from Shadow and Bone. So I thought, you know, I'm in the Grisha mood, and I am. Just this book and me just aren't really working right now. So I'm putting this down for now. I'll pick it up somewhere in the future, and we're picking another book together. I have already cleaned the books up, but I just have them in a stack before me. So yeah, I have still 4 options. I'm excited about most of them, but there was 2 in particular that I'm like most hyped for. So let's hope it's one of those 2. But if it's one of the others, I don't really care that much either. Oh wait, there are 5. I miscounted earlier. I apologize. So let's close my eyes. And I'm gonna pick this one. I don't know which it is. I'm a bit scared, I'm gonna be honest. Yes, okay. This is actually the one of the list I'm the most excited about. And that's The Iron Raven by Julie Kagawa, which is the first book in a new series set in the Iron Fae world that I absolutely binged last year and absolutely love. So I am really excited for the book. It's also fantasy, but I know it's a bit more lighter, I guess, than Full of Wolves, and it's also just if it's anything like the other books in this world, it's gonna be like very quick and very fun, and I'm so excited for this. Hi, I'm halfway through The Iron Raven, and I definitely made the right decision to like switch books because this is really good. So I am 94 pages in. The halfway mark was 91, but I had a couple more pages to go till the end of the chapter, so I added that. But yeah, I can't really talk to you about what this is about, so I didn't give a synopsis before because it's like the third series in this world, and this very much advances on the other two series. This takes place a couple of years after the last Iron Fae book, so I can't tell you anything besides this is about Puck, and I love Puck, so I was really excited for this book, and so far it's been delivering. Puck is an amazing character to follow. It's one that we've known for a really long time because he has been present since like the very beginning of the first book, but this is like the first time we get to see his perspective besides, I believe, a novella. So I think that's very interesting to be following him, and I'm loving it. Like, he's so much fun and so funny. I've laughed a couple of times already to end this book, so I'm having a great time. We're already like setting up what the conflict of at least this book is gonna be, and again, I think it's like, so interesting. I think like Julie Kagawa is great at just like coming up with like these interesting conflicts that kind of like have this more like deeper meaning behind everything and stuff, and like this is also seeming to go that route, and I'm very excited for that. We have some characters that we already know, and then also a new one whom I'm also loving so far. Like, we don't know a lot about this new character yet, but I'm excited to learn more about her because she seems very interesting. But yeah, we've also gotten some old friends already, and I always love spending time with these characters. So yeah, I'm having a blast reading this so far, and I can't wait to continue. So I'm gonna do that and update you once I'm halfway through, which is at the red mark. Hi, I'm halfway through the book and I'm still really enjoying it. This is proof I'm halfway through. The only thing is that I'm getting slight hints of insta love, which is a thing I've noticed over all three Iron Fae series, if it's gonna happen in this one, but I still don't like it. So yes, but we are doing more things. Right now it's a bit more slower than the first quarter. It's just that we're traveling, and I like doing that because it gives us a view of the world now. It's been a couple of years since we last been here, so it's interesting to see how things have evolved, but we haven't really been doing anything. But like I said, I'm still enjoying it. I really love Puck, and getting like being in his head is so interesting because like we haven't been there before, even though like we know him really well. This is like the first time we're like properly following his perspective, and I think that's so interesting. I like our new character called Nyx. I think she's fantastic, and I love learning more about her as this book is continuing. And yeah, I'm excited to get to the third quarter mark. Hi, I am 3/4 of the way through the book. I don't know, I feel like at this point we're still like very much, I don't know, I feel like I've been spoiled in the first quarter with a lot of action because everything since then hasn't been as action-packed. It's been more like traveling and trying to figure stuff out. And it's not bad, not at all. I'm still enjoying my time, but it's like, it started off like so good and I was just like a little bit less, you know? But it's still fantastic. But basically, thoughts. I want to talk about something without using spoilers, but basically, very much at the beginning, Puck, Nyx, and Kieran end up fighting like this monster who's like, I think is gonna be the big evil of the series, but we'll see. And that monster awakens like this kind of darkness in Puck. it is more detailed than that, but I feel like if I do that, we'll spoil things, so I'm not gonna do that. And at first, I was really liking the darkness because it gave some interesting, like, in a monologue where he will, like, think something and then I was just like, wait, what? That's not how I usually think. I don't know, I think that was, like, a lot of fun and interesting. But now we've gotten to a point where he has met up with Megan and Ash, which is on the back of the Dutch synopsis, even though it doesn't happen until, like, halfway through. So, like, I'm assuming it's not a spoiler as it's on the back. And a lot of, like, these dark thoughts are, like, directed towards Ash, and he is a bit hostile towards Ash because of it. And I'm just like, I thought we were over this. Like, they have a rivalry throughout most of the original series with Buddy and, like, their friends, and they worked their issues out, and I'm just like, we're back to this bullshit, really? It's getting a little bit tiresome, but, like, it's not like that has been taking over the plot, so at least that's a good thing. The only thing I'm not really liking in this book so far is that it's split up in parts, and each part starts like a flashback, like something that happened years ago, and I don't get the point of those yet. Maybe if I finish the book or I finish the series, I'll be like, oh, I'm glad they were there. But just, like, in the moment of reading this book, I'm just like, I don't really see the purpose of these. They don't really add anything, and they're taking me out of the story. But for the rest, I'm quite enjoying this. And I just realized that I probably won't have anything new to say once I finish the book, because I've went in depth about my thoughts on this book so far. I just reached the end of the Iron Raven, so I thought I'd share my thoughts with you. Honestly, not a lot has changed. The only thing that has changed that I talked about previously is that I was talking about, like, the darkness in Puck and how I was kind of feeling iffy about it because of how that, like, continued the rivalry between Puck and Ash, even though, like, I'm done with that. But eventually in this last quarter, a lot around had happened that just were such great points of, like, character development that I can't be mad at it anymore. I think it was brilliantly done, and I don't know, I really liked how that ended up being an important part into Puck's character by the end of the book. So I'm excited. And now I hate the fact that this is the first Julie Gaga book that I've read that doesn't have the entire series out already, because I don't want to wait, but we'll have to. For the rest, I think I've said everything. Instead of very much still a factor, I wish it wasn't, because I do really like those two characters together. I just wish, I don't know, it would have been a bit slower developed, I guess. But like I said before, that's something that I've had a problem with Julie Gaga's books before. So I ended up giving this 4 out of 5 stars because I had a great time reading it, and I love Puck as a protagonist, but like I mentioned before, I did have some small problems with it. Let's wrap up this vlog in its entirety. So for this vlog, I wanted to read 3 2021 releases that I own but haven't read yet, which were quite a lot. So I'm happy that I got that done and I picked randomly, in case you don't remember. And the first one was Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my new favorite books of all time, so definitely a success. Then I picked Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon, which I ended up giving 4 out of 5 stars. Again, success. Then The Iron Raven by Julie Kagawa, also 4 out of 5 stars. Love this. Excited for the rest of the series. So yes, another vlog that was a success. I'm happy. These are the 2 books I read for this vlog. If you've read any of them, let me know in the comments of some of your favorite 2021 releases that you've read so far. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Okay?